Okay, I think should be live soon. We'll find out shortly how live I am. Skip ad. All right. Let me just skip this. There we go. All right, so we're live here. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody or anybody that might show up. I think I am live. I'm not 100% sure. I guess we'll find out shortly. What we're doing today is the new Rebellion set that came out today. So I did a lot of prep work over here. Let me just get this out of the way here. And you can see that all the Rebel guys I've spray painted black right here. And then over here, we spray painted a bunch of stuff gray, and well, that didn't help. There we go. Let me just make an adjustment here. There we go. And I did a few things gray over on this side here. That you guys can't see, of course. As soon as my dog gets out of here, she comes in lapping up water. I have this beautiful German Shepherd. She's really incredible. She's my best friend. So we do everything together. So anyways, if you have any questions, because I'm doing this pretty much on my own, if you guys can just do me the favor of just putting question before you write anything, I'll try to answer everything I possibly can. So let me tell you how I'm modding these. First of all, if you have OCD, you're not going to want to see this, okay? These ships, as you can see how they come, pretty much. What I did is I took a small drill and I drilled a hole in the bottom here. And what I did is put the posts in there. So they actually have stands now and stand above the board. The one thing I noticed was that a lot of the ships, you just kind of took everything and did this. You just kind of, okay, that's my area right there. You know, probably not a little neater. But that didn't look too outer spacey for me. So I decided to put the Rebels and all the main ships, as you can see right here, on stands. And this other camera is giving me hell here. Okay, just give me a second. There, no, that's not going to do it. There we go. Okay, problem solved. But I put them on stands, and you can see that they go on pretty good, and they look pretty nice. Now, some of these other bases you'll notice are blue. Okay, and the reason is that this is going to be a two-part thing. I'm going to go over and paint some of this stuff here, and then next week we're going to do the bases. And this blue, this icy blue, we're actually going to make this a ice. We're going to put all snow in there and everything like that, so it looks really cool, like the planet Hoth. And I did that for these bases here as well, and of course the generators. So we can't forget those either. So we did that there. And the individual ships, I mean, they're so small that you would have just tossed them. So I put the individual ships on very small bases. Now on the right hand side, if you've gotten the game so far, you will notice that there's a certain area to have manufacturing and so forth. So as you can see, these are a lot neater and easier to handle and push around on bases. So I glued these to the bases. So I thought that would be pretty helpful as well. The individual soldiers, no, I just left them the way they are. They had stands, and of course, the little attack units here, they had stands, so I left them there. So why don't we get right down to it and kind of get started here. Now, there's going to be a lot of inking and a lot of dry brushing to start. And that's the best way to pretty much sum it up. You're going to want to dry brush these a lot and use a lot of inking. So I'll go over some of these techniques. Let me get this mouse ball out of the way. And just remember, again, for those of you that just showed up, that if you have a question, just phrase in a question and I'll look up and I'll try to answer everything that you guys want to have answered there. So there we go. All right, so let's get going, huh? All right, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use Newell oil. Now, what Newell oil is a black shade, and what that's going to do is get inside the recesses. I've talked about this a lot of times. The way to build out 3D is a lot of times is to get in those recesses and have those shadows so you can build out on a ship or any particular figure. Daniel Borg, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Tony, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for showing up. Let's see here. Of course, I've got like a million washes here. Oh, here we go. The industrial size Newell oil. And I thought I had one open. That's the thing. I didn't want to open up a new one. But if I have to, for the sake of the show, huh? We'll open up a new one. We're going to need this silver, so we're going to bring that up front. And we're going to be mixing some grays, and we're going to be doing a bunch of different things here. So we're going to have some fun. Now, I'm going to take a medium-sized brush. And the reason I'm going to do that instead of taking a huge brush and just swiping it on there is I want to be able to control the wash. That is the most important part of this whole thing, is being able to control your washes. So I'm going to get a good amount on here. And I'm going to dip my thing in there and just kind of work it around a little bit. And then we're going to take one of these ships here. And all we're going to do is just take and run this through here. Now, it's going to make this dark. There's no doubt about it. But that's okay because we're going to dry brush over all of this. And that is going to be important there because when we go back over everything, that's when we're going to bring out the detail. But we just want all this to get into the recesses there. So we can get what, there's not a lot of detail on there, but we do want to pull whatever detail we can out of there. And I think this wash is kind of worn out. I don't think there's much left in it. So we're just going to finish up with this here. And I think I'm going to open up that new one. Because this one is kind of beat. Well, it's all right. But you can see how it's not that bright white anymore. But that's okay because I don't know any spaceships that are, because I guess they get space dust or whatever. I don't know. Some of you guys are smarter than I am, so maybe you can explain it all to me. So, can everybody hear me okay? Do I sound all right? Is there any sound problems this week or anything like that? I've made some adjustments to make sure that we don't have any problems. Let me just double check something here to make sure. Yeah, that's off. And that, of course, is off as well. How you doing, Mario? Hope you guys can hear me okay. And we're just moving this around a bit. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to show you, we're going to go through everything here. Now you see how I'm just spreading that out there? And I'm letting the wash take control there and get inside and just bring out. We don't want it to pool up, but we actually want that to really get in there and really do its job. And you can see that I've got these glued in here really, really well, so I can work with the brush and also be popping off. And we don't need that, do we? There we go. And we don't want it to pool up, so we want to use our brush to spread it around really well. All right, that's what we're looking for. And you want to make sure that you get every crevice. You don't want to have a big bright spot anywhere, like right there, as we just saw. Sound and image perfect, great. Greetings from Costa Rica. Wow, Esteban, welcome. Sound great in New York with no lag. Well, that's a good thing. Welcome all of you. Thank you so much for coming. Boy, even Germany. All right, this is great. This is a worldwide affair here today. YouTube sent me my notice late. You sound great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mario. And all of you, thank you so much. Now, just to go over it again, because a lot of you are just coming in, like I said, if you have OCD, you really are going to have a problem with what I did here. Now, I just couldn't understand why they would, on these bases here, oh, am I having a problem here? Oh, okay. On these particular bases here, why they would just put the Death Stars on bases, but not the ships. So when you would play the game, and if you watch Sam and Tom's playthrough, you know, they're basically taking the ships and they're putting them like that. And I just don't think that really gives you, where can we get the clear flying bases? You can go to any hobby store and get them, to be honest with you. I mean, they'll be there, that's for sure. And the same thing with the stands. Okay, let me just, all right, that's going to be perfect. Okay, there we go. But the whole point is that I decided to take, and I took a drill. And underneath each one of these, you're able to drill. I was able to drill, there's a little flat spot here I was able to drill in. And then on the bigger super destroyer here, I was able to drill right in that hole right there. I just tried to set a good mark and make sure that it fit in there real good so it doesn't pop off later. These bases here are nothing but little wood planks. You can see, that's the reason I didn't paint them all the way through. And as you can see, I have a light blue because what we're going to do is we're going to put snow on there. And this is going to be a two-part series, so we're going to do this week, and we'll see what we can get done next week. We'll probably be able to finish everything up next weekend. And for the smaller ships, because they're so small, I just used actually Games Workshop bases. I went out and bought a whole bunch of those. And then for the power generators, I did the same thing because I want to do a lot of snow and stuff like that to really make it kind of cool. If you have any questions, please put question before it so I can see it, because it's kind of hard to paint and do this all at the same time and try to answer your questions, because I really do try to answer everybody's questions. And I do my best to make sure that anybody that asks something, I try to answer it and at least say hello to everybody. So let's get back to work here, huh, guys? And I'm real sorry that we missed out on the second part of Blood Rage I think it was last week. I did it on my channel. And the reason being was with Gamma, there was a conflict, so I had to finish the second part on my channel. So if you missed that, you guys can always go over to Rob Warren's channel and take a look at that. But my main commitment here is ever the Dice Tower. So we want to make sure that you guys subscribe. We want to make sure you guys enjoy what you see here, which is most important. Now, see how nice that is? See how nice we get a nice finish right there? And that's just from a simple, just dragging that brush and moving that wash around. It's just a very simple technique, and it just does wonders on things. And you can see that we have. Now, I have two cameras going, believe it or not. One of them's taping for my channel, and because I like to have this as a log, I try to keep things logged on there. And then, of course, we are live here on the Dice Tower. And I want to thank Tom for allowing me to do this and having the freedom to do it. Coming up, I think after we get done with Rebellion, we're going to build boards for Mice and Mystics. So if you guys are Mice and Mystic fans, we're going to do that live. We're going to take those boards and we're going to make them 3D. So if you guys would like to see that, please leave some comments, and I'll be more than happy to really get to work on that. As you can see, these are coming out pretty good. So we're going to push these aside and allow them to dry, because we want all that ink to dry right in there and do a nice job. So we're going to bring this out. Let me look over, see if anybody's got a question. Hey, just tuned in and already have a question. How do you shade really dark colors? Well, that's when I tried Circumcyprium over Nagroth Night, but it got really dark. Yeah, those are two dark colors, and you're going to want to dry brush out. Rob, what products are you using for snow? I actually have, oh God, I forgot where it's from. It's actually from a railroad company, for railroad modeling. It's actual snow, and it comes in a bag, and we're gonna build that up. We're gonna put little icicles and stuff in there, and we're really gonna try to do a couple things there. Awesome. Just painted my Mice and Mystics. That's great, because then you're really gonna love these. We're going to duplicate those actual tiles to the perfection. I've done it once already for someone. It was a sick little boy. Unfortunately, he passed away. I did it as a Make-A-Wish thing, and I built those boards, and I'm going to do it again for you guys, because I think that's really good. So we're going to do it in memory of him, and I know it'll mean a lot to do that one more time. Maybe we'll donate it to somebody. I don't know. I've got more stuff than I can ever need. So there you go. All right. I saw this stuff, but it's in French and I can't find it. I'll definitely, it's not in a tub. It comes in a bag. So I will definitely, Tony, you're always around, so I will definitely make sure that I get that to you. Okay, again, as you can see, we have this, and you see how white this is, and what we just want to do is we really just want to really bring that out. So I still got some shavings from drilling. Please, people with OCD, don't. I'm glad. I was going to drill it in front of you guys, and then I started thinking about the poor people that it would absolutely sicken to watch me drill that. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep everybody just nice and happy and not worried about it. Now, we're not worried about getting any of this on the base, even though I painted the light blue there, because we're going to cover that up with the snow. So we're not too worried about that. So we're just pushing it in there because we want to get that in the recesses. All right, so we're going to push that big boy aside. Let's get these other two out here. As you see, we're motoring along pretty good. And we're going to get all the stuff that we were going to get this black wash on, and we're going to get it on here real good. Now, at some point, I believe my daughter's going to come home, and my dog's going to bark. So I'm going to apologize ahead of time, because probably around 6:30 or so that'll happen. And I needed the better light, so that's why I'm doing this in the kitchen. And I wanted to make sure that everything went a lot better than the mistake I actually made with the whole Blood Rage stuff. All right, there we go. And then we're going to get this one in here. And wait till you see when we do the snow, and we're going to do a lot of little highlights here, and we're really going to have some fun here. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. All right. And I'm just going to get that in there. I can see no questions, so I'm doing all right. And I got Butterfingers. Kabuki Kid, how are you, my friend? And again, if you have a question, just write the word question in front of it so I can see it. And I will answer whatever you guys need. I try to answer everything. No question is stupid. Unless you're trying to be stupid. We've had a few of those. Which I'm shocked. I guess that means I've made it, huh? Alright, we're going to push those guys over there so we have some room, and we want to have camera angle. Because isn't that the most important thing? Oh boy. Alright, so now as you can see, for those of you that are coming in late, I'm just letting you know. And how are all the bases supposed to fit in the big battle? These are small enough that they will fit. I tested it out. So you will be able to fit these in. You can see that these bases are very, very, very small. I'm going to hold these up. And they definitely will. Why shading the rebel ships in black and not in septone tone? It seems to be a common theme with the rebels. I'm doing that to start because I want the darker tone underneath, and then I will be building out from there. Because I am attempting to do something. Now I lost my train of thought. Okay. I just try to do things the way I kind of see it in my head. Nothing's perfect. Well, like I said, I'm not the best painter in the world, but I do enjoy this, and I do enjoy doing it for charity and such. And you will notice that we will be shading a couple things here. So we will be building our way out, and I will show you what I mean by that. But right now, kind of want to just get that in there. There we go. Get over there. Stop painting that rebel scum. I need TIE fighters. Emperor is really on my case, man. Why the blue color underneath the snow? I like doing that because it brings the snow out and it gives that really hard blue ice kind of feel. And you'll see what I mean. If I just had black under there and it was kind of and I missed a spot or something, the blue kind of works in there with the white, and you'll see what I'm talking about when the snow gets on there. That's why I do the light blue underneath. Give it that icy feel. Alright, you guys, you rebel scum, get over there. See? And let's, oops. These are very, very small figures, and if I had to give a size to them, I would say they are 15 millimeter, easy. So I'm going to just make sure that I get a coat of everything on here, and then we'll go through everything. I want these guys to dry because I really want to do some work while the bigger ships dry. So there you go. I've been really debating buying this game. Looks like a winner. A friend is getting it though, so I will at least be able to play it first before I know if I want to own it. See, that's a great thing. That's a great thing. All right. And we're going to really work this around. We really don't want to soak these guys up too much with it. So I'm actually going to try to pull some of this off. All I want to do is get in those hard to reach spots that I'm not going to be able to get my brush into, those gaps, because what's going to happen is because these are so small, you're not going to be able to really get that small brush in there. So you kind of want to make sure, you know, where that dark area shows, you want to be able to push that wash in there. So there we go. So I've had some ideas for this week's board game breakfast. And I've got something that's going to go on for a couple of weeks. So I hope you guys will tune into that. And all the hard work that everybody does on that. From Chaz all the way to Tom to our new people, which is Girls Game Shelf, which they did a wonderful job this weekend. Let's not forget with Lapedia and Suzanne, who's really killing it with the Kickstarter. Who's been doing a great job. I think it's only like a 2-hour game, right? Or is it longer? I just got it I just got it and I started working on this right away so you guys can see exactly what I am doing here. There we go. And like I said, take and make sure that you control the brush. You move the wash around. It's just like dry brushing. You have to control the whole situation here. And we will dry brush over these guys, believe it or not, but we just want to make sure that we get this right into the recesses here, which is awesome. All right, there we go. Oops. The rebel scum are getting underneath my elbow. How's that? These are not great models, but I think that you can make the best out of them. They all come gray, pretty much. Yeah, they're pretty much gray. The gray ones I actually spray painted over or primed over just so I can get a good base in there to work with. And there we go. And there we go, and we're just working away here, using that Newell oil and really just letting the brush get in between those gaps and really push that around. And we're going to be painting over this, and then we're going to be dry brushing over it. Probably dry brush before we paint more, so there you go. Question: I really want to start painting outdoors in the summer, but would direct sunlight have a bad effect on the paint or the models? Absolutely. It will dry a lot quicker. It will dry very, very quicker, and that's not what you want. You really kind of want that to, you want to keep it kind of in a cool area so you can manipulate the paint. Remember, you need to be able to control the paint, and you don't want to put a time limit on yourself. And that's exactly what happens when you do such. All right, let's get the back here. There we go. And we're moving right along here. All 5,000 guys here. There we go. And we're not worried about getting on the bases because we're going to clean up the bases once we're done with these guys. So don't worry. And if you make a mistake, don't worry. You can always go back and correct it. And everything works out fine. Just a hair lower. Thanks, buddy. My son's playing. What's the name of that game, Just?
Paragon.
Paragon?
Yep.
Paragon on the PlayStation 4. He actually likes it. It's kind of like League of Legends. So I've been watching him all afternoon. He's pretty nasty at it. What level are you?
11.
11. Oh, all right. I don't know if anybody else is playing it or anybody else likes that. What did I pick up today? Well, I was at the game store today. I had to pick up a whole bunch of codes that I have to hand out. So if any of you guys on here are watching that usually go to my cool stuff drawing every month, I will be sending out codes today because I finally got them. But I picked up Above and Below. I hope that's a good game. And Waste Nights. And that looked kind of fun, so I was kind of on the fence about it, so I just bought it. And there's something else I bought. I bought Rebellion, of course. I only bought it just so I can do this project. I think I'm going to give this away when I'm done. I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy on the planet. All right, we're just flying along here. That's what we're doing. Let me take a look, see if there's any question. Big Bang, short term or should be fine, but prolonged time could fade the paint like anything else. Very true, very true. I wonder if this will be good as War of the Ring. That I don't know. I haven't played that one yet. Question, where is the best place to buy paint, specifically shaders? you know, my wife, the High Queen of the universe, as she is known here, she found it on eBay, and she was able to get me Games Workshop paint, okay, about $200 worth of shader for 40 bucks. So always look on eBay. You'll be surprised how cheap you can get it. What the heck's that? Hobbytown. Hobbytown's prices are pretty reasonable, and I think you can buy it online. They're a little bit lower than everybody else. And, you know, just check your local hobby store. You know, any place that has models or anything like that. There's three or four really great paints out there. Vallejo, Army Builder, Games Workshop, they all make washes, and they all make wonderful, wonderful washes. Okay, boy, we're doing pretty good. We're just cranking these boys out. And the best part about it is I get to sit here and talk to you guys and keep running my mouth. Let's see if I can talk for the full 2 hours. Can't wait to watch this tomorrow at work. Well, thank you, Caleb. I hope everything's going well with you. I want to thank you for joining me here tonight. I purposely don't have my sound on. Is he just painting the figures, or is it just stormtrooper units that don't need much detail? I'm washing everything first, Jason, and then I'm going to go over it. I want to get into the recesses, and then from there, I will build out. But I need to get my washes in there first. I mean, boy, that would be really boring if that's the whole thing that I did for the whole thing and go, well, we're just going to throw a wash on here. And that's how you paint Rebellion. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. No, the whole point is that these are about just under, I'd almost say they're 15 millimeter units. And you want to be able to get that wash within the creases and then build the white out. So you want that white to show up. You can't do that. And if I sat here with a little detailing brush, now I've got a really, really nice little detail brush here, which is a Master Touch. And this is a 18. And try to just sit here. Oh, I will lose my mind. Okay? And so would you. So what I'm trying to do is just show you a quick way to get this done so you can get this onto the board, which is the most important thing, and just start playing. So while some other things are drying, I'm doing these, so these will dry while I'm doing other things. So that's why we're just taking our time. And we've gotten already in a half hour quite a bit washed up, meaning we did most of the ships here that we were going to be working on. And, whoops. And, of course, we're going to do also all the Empire as well. We're going to wash over them, too, because that's going to come in handy when we have to dry brush all that. Because we want, even though I spray painted it all in a darker gray, we want to dry brush it a lighter gray, but we do want to make sure that we get within those recesses. We want to have that 3D effect. All right, moving along here. Now these guys, the Rebel guys, are going to be a lot different. What we're going to do is we're going to actually have to paint these guys, which that's going to be fun. That's going to be a good time. But we'll get it done. Rob, what is your favorite mini game to introduce younger players to the hobby? Boy. Right now, younger players into the hobby. Oh, I probably would go with Claustrophobia. I would really start there. You know, just a simple little dungeon crawl. Not a whole lot of thinking. Just basically dice rolling. Bing, bang, boom. I just picked up that, so I can't wait to get my first grade. So trooper unit, then assuming white base paint. They were yes. Let's assume there. Rob, what is your? Oh, okay, I answered that one. Have you ever built a Gundam model? Yeah, I built a whole bunch of them. Rob, what game works? What game was the most work? Took the most time to assemble and paint? I had to say Space Hulk. Just thinking right off because I really took my time with the addition that I did, and it was a pain in the neck to put it all together because you got to put this, move this to pose, this, that, and the other. Space Hulk was a pain in the neck, and it was a pain in the neck to paint because they were blood angels, and there's just a lot of layering with the blood angels. Da-da. Okay. All right. Let's do this here. Okay, everything's going fine here. All right. You can run out of wash. That's okay. I spent a ton of time on Brimstone. Yeah, Brimstone was kind of tough. Brimstone was kind of tough. Well, you know, anything Games Workshop is really, really, you really got to be on your A game. You really have to be on your A game, and there's no doubt about that. All right, get over there. Okay, what are we doing here? Okay, perfect. All right, question. Are you only using Games Workshop colors and why? I'm just using Games Workshop colors because that's what I had out here available on my desk. I also have Vallejo over here too. I've got a ton of it, which I'll be mixing in there. There you go. I got that, and I even got a little Americana in here. I kind of just have everything. I got folk art here. I keep everything around. You just see a lot of Games Workshop right up front. Question, did you think the new Star Wars movie was as good as the old one? Okay. I have not seen it yet. I have not seen the Star Wars movie yet. But it comes out on DVD, which means it'll be on demand on my TV. And I will check it out. Unfortunately, I've been very, very, very busy, unfortunately. And I just haven't had time to go to movies as much as I'd like to. And it's kind of tough with my job. And plus, you know, I'm always doing something for the Dice Tower or my channel, and I'm doing a lot of charity work, so that has taken up a lot of my time, and I think that was more important than going and seeing a movie, unfortunately. Borg wants to start a new rebellion. Yeah, here we go. Now you guys are going to argue over the movie. But I am looking forward to seeing it. I haven't seen Ant-Man yet either. That's another one I wanted to see, and it's on pay-per-view. Well, on demand on my TV, and I could just watch it if I wanted to. Just haven't had time to really watch many things between, you know, when I finally get home, I try to spend time with my family. We play a lot of games together. My dog, my wife. You know, that's my life. So there you go. Hey Joe, Rod just bought Fury of Dracula to try to play with my big family ranging from elementary to retire age. What game would you suggest for that age range? I would keep it very, very simple. What's an easy game that we like, Just?
Easy game that we like.
Sushi Go.
Sushi Go's a lot of fun.
We always like Sushi Go. But that's a quick game. Board game though. Oh, Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride's a lot of fun.
We-
We like Colt Express too.
Colt Express, that was a lot of fun. Ticket to Ride is a lot of fun, especially if you get the 10th anniversary edition.
And Camel Cup.
And Camel Cup is like our all-time favorite game for some reason. Anytime you can race and argue with each other, that is a great game. And we do like to fight with each other. Family that fights together, I don't know, ends up with a fat lip together, I guess. Hey Rob, it's Ken. Made it to a live show. Welcome, Ken. Good to see you. Joe, great to see you. Hope everything's good. Is there such a thing as whitewashes? Yes, I make them. They are very handy in certain times, but they're not as effective as you think they would be. It's a long, involved game. It's $75 on Amazon and cool stuff. A lot of money for a low play potential. Oh, really? Okay, so I answer all the questions there. Oh, I'm doing pretty good here. Castle Panic, that's another good one. Robert, thank you. Robert, I have your codes. So I will be sending you codes as soon as this is over. I made it to cool stuff today, finally. It's been a very, very busy week with everything going on in the world, and that's all I'm going to say, folks. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Is this really getting pathetic? Yeah, it is. All right. Well, we're getting down there. And I was getting slow. Usually I'm a lot faster than this. But, you know, something I'm just enjoying my time talking to all you guys. Rob, aren't you a little big for a stormtrooper? Aren't you a little big for a stormtrooper? Yeah, I always see those guys in the 501 or whatever it is whenever I go to MegaCon. I think I can take them all. I don't know. I don't know if I would want to dress up as a stormtrooper. I don't even know if I want to dress up. My daughter's trying to get me to dress up for MegaCon. I want to go as Doctor Doom if I do. But the armor's got to be dead on, or else I ain't getting in. Then they want me to be Captain Boomerang, part of the Suicide Squad, because she's going to be Harlequin, and the other one's going to be Katana?
Yep.
Yeah, Katana. All right, enough stormtroopers. Jeez. Get off my finger. See, I get paint on my finger, and I make it a little tough on myself here. All right, come here, fella. I saw that. All right. Now, we really, really, really want to try to get, we're not worried about getting anything on here, but we're going to get that in there, and we're going to move it around pretty thick. We really want to get that in there because this is really going to sell this when we dry brush this, especially with all the snow and everything that we're going to have in there. That's what I'm talking about, folks. That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, it takes a while to do all this, but you know, it's worth it. You know, there's nothing better than when you paint something for somebody and you see their faces and they're happy with what you do. It's a very gratifying thing, especially when you do it for charity. I try to do my best, but hey, I'm not perfect. Okay. Let's move that over there. Over there. How about over there? Because we want it to get out of the camera lane. And we're just going to go over this a bit. And all right, I didn't check to see if there were any questions. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, you're all arguing with each other, and that's good. I am late to the party. Washing first? Correct. You always wash your hands before dinner. I will get when he gets back from Thailand. Okay, let's see over here. at Steven, check out Coconuts, Jamaica, Zombicide, and King of Tokyo. Good call. Very good call. See? When you get put on the spot and you're painting, it's kind of hard to come up with all the games that you like. And then all of a sudden, Willie comes along and boom. Names off every single game I really like a lot. There we go. There we go. Let's see. How do I make them? I did a video on how to make washes. So what you do is you just take ink, and then I believe it's matte medium, and then there's this water dryer or thinner, excuse me, that you put a couple drops in, and then just mix it all together, and boom, you got Insta Wash. I wish I could think of the name of the guy that did the video, because I saw it a long time ago, and then I proceeded to try it myself, and it came out pretty good. And a lot of times I'll use my own washes. Alright, get over there and dry off, big boy. Alright, here we go. Alright, see, when you've got these bigger figures, it's a lot quicker, because you can just kind of slop it and move it around, get in all those recesses like we're doing here. Alright, make some headway. And that's what's important, making some headway. We're not doing too bad here. Alright. Oh, you're going to even want to do this. I spray painted these down, and you want to kind of really get that in there for these guys too. Don't worry about getting it on the base, but it'll help bring out some detail, and we will lighten them up later. We'll get the little red stripes on them. We want to get in the back there, so everything kind of looks out pretty good. Alright, let's get these guys out of the way. Usually I do this last on these guys too, because I usually just try to, because I end up painting these black anyways, the panels. But I want to get in the little face here, so it'll pull up real good in there. There we go. We're doing fine. Let's see, what do you guys think is a better game, Descent 2 or Imperial Assault? Oh boy. It's like somebody read my mind, because I am actually doing a battle of dungeon crawls to see what is the best dungeon crawl ever. And I've taken and I've put out a list, both sci-fi and so forth and so on, and I'm picking 2 games to battle each other each week, and you guys are going to help, because you guys are going to put in the comments and argue it out with your comments why you think one is better than the other, and then that one will move on to face somebody else. And you will see that on Board Game Breakfast starting this week. And this week's a good one. I think you'll really enjoy, because you're going to scratch your head. It's kind of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? And I made sure I made it tough, so it was a tough decision. Some are easier than others, but some are very tough. So there you go. So we're almost done with these washes. And then we're going to move over to we're going to let these dry really, really good, and we're going to move over to our troopers real quick. Our rebel troopers, you know, the rebel scum. that you all don't like. So just a couple more ships, and now we'll just start doing some painting. I'm moving along pretty good here, so maybe we'll just finish up everything that we can here. There we go. And I think this will really make the game a lot better. I think you know, if you're gonna play a Star Wars game, you want it to be blinged out. Why not? Right? There we go. Get that in there. And that's just going to darken up this whole thing here. And that's okay. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to just get those recesses nice and dark. So when we go over it, it'll be a lot lighter. And there we go. I only want to get a couple done here. I'll do the rest off camera. All right. Now we get the big boy here. This is the biggest ship in the game. Question, have you ever played Space Hulk Death Angel, the card game? How does it compare to the massive Space Hulk game? It's alright. If you're a big Space Hulk fan, you like it as a quick game, and it's not that quick, to be honest with you. It's pretty good. I just, you know, once you play Space Hulk, it's Space Hulk. You know, the only substitution is you could play it on your iPad now, and you can, you know, and you enjoy that just as much almost. And it's pretty good. So I have to say, as far as the card game, it's okay. It's it's a nice game if you got nothing better to do. I really don't have a problem with it, but compared to Space Hulk, no. I mean, it's just two different animals, in my mind at least. I mean, it does give you that feel, and it's pretty good, but I prefer, if I'm going to play Space Hulk, I'm going to just whip out the game and play. There we go. Alright. Alright, a couple more of these. Did I miss anything? I guess they are on ball, right? What's even cooler? No. So it doesn't co op. Okay, good. We're all caught up here. There we go. You could talk, Just. It's all right. All right. And these generators. They're going to be covered with snow anyways. We know how that's going to end up. Not good for the good guys. Nothing ever is. Has anybody picked up this game yet? I mean, I know it just came out today. Rob, do you know how to pronunciate educator? The video game pronounced it somewhat like executive. Huh. Gee, you got me there. Executor, I'm sorry. The video game pronounced it somewhat like executive. Executor? What video game? I think I missed something there. There we go. So I don't know when it'll come out, but I did a review on Shadows of Brimstone for the Dice Tower. So whenever Tom decides to air that, I think you guys will enjoy that. I really like that game as far as a dungeon crawl is concerned. I know you guys are talking about dungeon crawls. If I can stop dropping things. Big butterfingers. There we go. Alright. You can see we're just moving along here. Getting everything all prepped up. Next week you'll see a lot of this all just come together. I mean, we've got plenty of time today. And this should be dry in about 20 minutes, and we'll be able to mess around with some of these guys too. Alright. And what I'll do is I'll just go over each and every one. I'll show you how to paint 2 of them twice. And that'll be pretty good. Okay, there we go. So like I said, we use these bases and really kind of it all comes together here. Alright. Rob, have you ever painted any old lead edge alien minis? I painted a lot of old lead minis, but no, not a leading edge alien minis. I painted a lot of stuff in my time. God, I remember when everything was pewter. Alright, let's close this out for now. Ugh. Yeah, we'll put that over there. Let's clean off our brush. Ordered Rebellion from Cool Stuff. FedEx says it's arriving tomorrow. Alright. That's excellent. Alright. Oh, I had a paper towel here. Oh, there it is. Alright. Let's start messing around with these guys. Why? Why not, right? Alright, this is where I'm going to need my little goggles on. And tighten that up. Tighten that up. Alright. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we'll paint his sleeves. We'll go with the light blue look. Jeez. That may not do it. Let's go. No, that's too dark. That's not light enough. That, I think. Add a little white to that. I think that's what we'll do. Alright. So we're going to take our smaller brush here. Because we're going to be painting on micro scale, it looks like. And we're going to put a little here. And just add like a hair, drop of white in there. Let's see how far that takes us. And it seems to work. Paper towel. All right. So now, if you want to get fancy with these guys, you can paint their sleeves. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to paint their sleeves. And remember, I had to do these guys for Imperial Salt. And that was not fun. Actually, it wasn't bad. But these guys are going to take a little time, and you've got to be able to be a little patient. And what you want to do, I'd like to start in the middle and work my way out so I don't mess anything up. Make sure I have good control of the brush. And this may need 2 coats, but we'll get there. A lot of work just to detail this guy. But it pays off in the end. It pays off. Anything you put time into pays off in the end. So we're kind of just working that. Oh, and they're kind of small there. Kind of working the sleeves in there a bit. And then we'll work on those pants because we're going to want to make those a nice tan. And we'll get his helmet all nice and white. And then we'll get his face in there all set. Right now we're just trying to get some color on this guy. Rob, what would your favorite model in Rebellion be? None of them right now because I have to do this. Right now, I kind of like the Death Stars. Oh boy, I forgot to put wash on the Death Stars, but that's okay. I think we'll save the Death Stars for next week anyways, when I got this stuff under control a little bit better. Right now, we're just making sure that we can, and you want to cut right down the middle here in his belt buckle. And try to get the collar a little bit. And there you go. Kind of start cutting into it a bit. Question, have you heard any news from Tina? Yes, I just talked to her today. Tina's doing fine, and she's been quite busy. And I'm sending her out her Dungeon Saga tomorrow. So she's going to be doing the live playthrough of it over the next 2 weeks because she has some time to herself finally. That girl's been working her butt off like she always does. All right. These guys aren't too bad. Let's get a little water in there and loosen that up a little bit. And then we'll get another drop of white, which I'm going to mix with a little more paint. All right. Drop in there. Come on. There we go. Vallejo. I wasn't just using Games Workshop. And let's take this brush here, because I don't want to clog up my other brush, and mix that in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little water to that, thin it out nice. There we go. Nice and thin. And make sure you have plenty of paint. I love this brush wash. Let's see. Fortune and Glory is probably the best Indiana Jones game I've ever played. Wow, I'd like to get that. Is it really that good? Fortune and Glory? I really got to check that out at some point. Okay, so there we go. And we're getting this guy all set here. And we should be able to start flying through these guys a bit. And you'll see these guys come together pretty quickly. once you get past the sleeves, and then you get the flesh on there, and then we get that in there, and that down the center there. There we go. You start getting in a rhythm. And then once you put the white helmets on them, that's when they really start to come together. So we're going to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm only going to paint a few of these guys. By the time I get done, they'll be dry enough where I can go to the next step. And I just want to kind of just show you how we're going to whip these guys out pretty quick. Unless I'm really starting moving pretty quickly. And if you make a mistake, don't worry, you can always fix it. Okay. I want to make sure that I use up all this paint because you hate wasting paint. It's amazing how expensive some of these paints are. It gets ridiculous after a while. But hey, you want to be in the hobby, you got to pay the price for the good stuff. Try not to put cheap gasoline in your car. Would you get booted?
For me?
Yeah.
No. Just waiting for Jancy's going home.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, Gabby's going home.
Oh, don't worry. If Gabby freaks, it's fine. I've already warned everybody. Gabby has this thing where we have this beautiful German Shepherd where she doesn't matter. She will never bark, but she only barks when, yes, Gabby, I love you too. Stop licking my ankles. You're too big to be under this table. Get out of here. Oh, no. Dumb dog. Oh, God. I'm still amazed that a painting project of this magnitude can be done without plan. I would need pictures of exactly what I was going to do with each. I pretty much got it in my head what I'm going to do. Yes, there's a game I don't own. Fortune and Glory. Can you figure that out, huh? Well, I was looking at it, and now that it's from that Flying Frog company that makes the that makes Shadows of Brimstone, I think anything that they do is great now. So I want to pick up the Last Day on Earth, I think it's called. I want to check that out. And I do have a plan, my friend. Is that Bill? Yes, Bill. I do have a plan. It's get these done as quickly as possible. I don't know. For some reason, I usually line things up, and I usually have in my head what I want to do, how I want to do it. Sometimes I have to pull out a picture because I'll just get, you just get in that thing where, your head seizes up. But for the most part, because I painted this kind of stuff before, you kind of know what you want to do. And every once in a while, you'll just have to go back and, you want to get the big areas done first. And that's the most important thing. Because then when you start adding things and things start coming together, that's when it really matters. Now, going down the middle here, you really want to be careful. And then you just want to touch his collar really quick. Boom, there. That's all you got to do. It's as simple as that. That is a dog hair, believe it or not. How did a dog hair get on my table? No, I'm not calling you. You're such a good girl. Are there 2 chat channels? Yes, I am on the Dice Tower, and I am on my channel too. Because originally I was just going to do this on my channel, but then I said, well, it's a new game. I kind of want to show everybody off the mods that I'm doing for this, because I watched that playthrough and I was just kind of like, you know, this really looks like a great game, but wouldn't it be nice if you put things on stands and kind of painted it up a little bit? And Sam warned me, and he goes, Rob, it's too small. And you know something, Sam? You're right. I don't remember Sam ever being wrong. He is right. This is very, very small, but I've also done this for Napoleonics, where they're this small, and you had like thousands of guys that just repetition, 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 the same thing over and over again. This isn't 1,000 guys. It's a lousy 100 and something guys. I can whip this out in 2 days if I had to. But you know, I am talking and stuff like that, so I'm not going that very fast. Now I'm just trying to hurry so I can get to the next step of these so you guys don't get bored watching me paint arms the whole time. But you know, the next step is we're going to want to put that tan on their pants, because they have tan pants, special pants. There we go. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. And then again, down the middle. Collar, collar, boom. All right. We're doing pretty good here. I'm a big fan of Touch and Evil. Let's see. I want to play Touch and Evil. Has anybody played Touch and Evil? That helps a lot. It makes sense. Is Touch and Evil a good game? How do these minis compare to Battle of the Five Armies? Battle of the Five Armies is the worst game to paint ever. No, was it War of the Ring or Five Armies? Five Armies is the worst game to paint ever. I will never paint that game, and Blood Rage I will never paint again. Only because I am burnt out on Blood Rage. I didn't even paint my own copy. What does that tell you? I'm burnt out. After all those charity copies, I am officially burnt out, and I had to fight through the last one. And I felt bad. I was supposed to have it done by the first week of March, and it took me all the way to the last week. Well, not really last week. I had it done last week, but I touched a few things up this week because I couldn't look at it. It was just, I finally got done with it, and then I said, let me just make sure before I ship it out. And then I took a look at it, and then I said, yeah, it's done. I just touched a few things up, and now it's going out tomorrow. It's all boxed up along with a couple other things I got to mail. I've just been so busy lately. I couldn't mail anything out. My post office. See, I live out in the country of Florida. What does that mean? I live out in the middle of nowhere. It's me, 3 snakes, and a gator. I think we got a cow too. But it is definitely your post office closes at 4 o'clock. Not even. And then they close for an hour for lunch. My town's as big as a postage stamp. The only thing that we have is a post office and a 7-Eleven. You have to go to the next town to find any kind of food of any sort or shopping center. So there you go. My poor son, my dog's being a pain in the neck. All right, these guys should be almost dry. There we go. We're going to touch you up. I see a spot right there. And that's the thing. You're going to see spots. You can go back and fix anything. Well, let's just do that. Let's put a little water there. We've got a little more paint, so we'll just do a couple more. Because I don't want to burn you guys out on this. I want to get my copy of Blood Rage painted with Hawaiian shirts, cargo shorts, and flip-flops on them. Jason would have to open his game to have them painted yet. Jason seems more like the type to pay to get his miniatures painted. Yeah, well, probably. It's very expensive, but the game is too cool. So I sprung for it, and oh, very cool. Oh, it was 5 hours. It was my nemesis. I've been working on it for over a year. I lost interest in painting them, but now I'm working on Arcadia Quest, and those are fun. They're very fun. I like to paint in Arcadia Quest, but even that kind of got a little tough with the little chibi heads. Oh my God. Because then you got to sit there and you're methodically trying to figure out. And you know, you're not painting it for yourself. You know, usually when you paint, oh, I made a mistake. There we go. I can go fix that later. But when you see, everybody makes mistakes. You just don't worry about it. You just keep painting and then you fix it later. Or if you can fix it, you fix it. Nobody's perfect. But you know, the funny thing is that you know you try to muscle through things, because sometimes things just get a little tough, and you're a little more lenient. Gabby, come on.
Gabby, come on.
She purposely just goes around the computer just to let me know that she's there. Love that dog. That's my Jimmy. Just shows up, causes disaster, leaves. If we ever get that done, Brandon, please send the pictures to Rob so we can see them. Yeah, you know I put everything up, guys. Costs around $370 for what? All right, so let's just say that we got those done. And now, let's see, what color do we want to use for the paints? We want a khaki. It's about as khaki as you can get. I don't know. It's 88. Brown pants. I think we're going to go with a little darker pants than we had intended. I'm going to get a little of that in here. And this is base coat XV88. And all we're going to do is just add a little bit of water, a little bit of 88, maybe a little more 88, and a little more 88. There we go. Push that out of the way. And there we go. Yeah, because we're going to, there we go. We just want to get down to where his boots are. And we can cover up his backpack if we had to. We want the boots to be black. I got my special eye unit on so I can actually see how close I'm getting to this. And you can see right there, all I'm doing is going by the belt line here. I'm working my way down in between the area there. I'm trying not to get those backpacks, I mean those side pocket packs, because I'm just going to paint those brown later, darker brown. I'm going to try to get them darker brown. Or I can just go over them and just say, hey, this is a 15mm thing. And if I want to paint them later, I will. How's that? That seems like a better executive decision, don't you think? All right, so there you can see that, oops. So we've got the brown, we've got the blue, we've got the black vest. put him over there, let him dry a little bit. Get a little more of this 88 here. Mix that over here with this little pile of water I got. And we're going to do the same to this guy here. Just underneath the buckle, work it out. Just come up to the boot. Go over the backpack, it doesn't matter. And if you guys are asking questions, I'm really sorry. I'll get to them. Right now I am just trying to get some of this done here, so you guys get a good look at this. And there we go. We'll paint a few more of these. And we'll move on to something else, just so you guys can see exactly what the process is that I'm going to be doing here. And then when we're caught up next week, we'll come back next week, we'll really start working on some of the ships, and we'll go over some of the detail of that. Oh, what time is it? 7:18? Okay, yeah. All right. And you can see, there you go. So that's how you're going to do that. You're going to go the blue, then you're going to go the brown, you're going to leave the boots black, and then we're going to want to we're going to get our flesh tones next. Well, let's let that dry. We'll probably come back to that. We'll just have those two guys done for now. And I'll move these guys out of the way because we want to do a little dry brushing. I just want to show you guys how we're going to bring these guys back a little bit. Excuse me. Because right now these stormtroopers look like they need to go through the car wash. And you can see that they're almost dry. Let me see if I can find something that's dry. Yeah, these guys are dry. These guys are dry. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take Vallejo, nope, you're right. I am not going to take a GW white. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little drop of that in there. And you really, what you want to do here is get a brush that you feel very comfortable with. Now, I know I feel comfortable 99% of the time with this brush here on small figures, especially when I'm doing a dry brush type of thing. So clean that out. Let's put that over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this white paint, and I am just going to take and pull this all off. Now let's see here. Oops. Oh boy. I'm just seeing if I missed any questions. What is your favorite exercise? All of them. I'll be honest with you, all of them. Because if I didn't like them, I wouldn't do them. And what I like to do is I just kind of want to get on the bottom here and make sure I've barely got any paint on there. And then all we're going to do is make sure I can see myself. And what we want to do here is just clip that up. Okay, there we go. So now, ever so lightly, we're just hitting the high points. See how nice and loose my hand is? I'm just letting that brush tickle over the top. I could probably use a little more paint on there. But all it's doing is getting the high points and putting that white back in there and giving him back a little bit of his color. Maybe just a little bit more on here. And we really kind of want to work that in there. I've got these black faces here. Okay, that's a little bit too much. Okay, so I was able to take some of the paint off right there. And that's why I sometimes I paint up some of those chips so I can just get control of my paint. I want to make sure that I have control of my paint more than anything. And there we go. And we're just going over the helmet here. Now, you know, normally this isn't the way that you would probably paint a stormtrooper, but because these are such a small figure, by using the dry brush method, it actually saves you a lot of time, and you know, you get a decent stormtrooper out of this. It's not perfect, hey, nothing is, but at least you get that in the recesses. And then when we start painting the guns and adding some of the dark, some of the black in there, it just all comes together. And you can see that by just doing that, he's a lot better right there. He's a lot better than this very dark guy here. Well, it's kind of hard to see either one of them. But you can see this guy here is very, very dark. But we still got some work to do on him because we're going to try to highlight these guys the best we can. And they're very small. And we're not going to leave those bases wide either. That doesn't make sense. It would just be too much. So again, just going back over and trying to make sure that we don't just hit the high points. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. What is the largest mini I ever painted? Oh God. It's actually a GW thing. It was some angel or something. It was huge. I painted a model that was huge. Massive John Player special. I remember it was huge. I think it was 1/16 scale or something. That thing was enormous. Did it for my brother for his birthday when he was a kid a long time ago. So I used to paint a lot of models. Still like painting models. There we go. And you see that we're starting to get a little bit of that come out. We still need to do some work with them. So that's how you're basically going to bring these guys back, is you have to really just dry brush, and you really have to be just very light with your brush, very smart with your brush without taking out any of the recesses that we put in there. Because we put all that work into there. We really kind of want to keep that look there. And you can see that I'm just trying to hit the high points, and I'm leaving all that dark shade in there, right in the gaps there, so we won't have to paint it in. And you come in the front here, we're gonna have to touch up his helmet, but that goes without saying. And his legs, all we want to do is just get enough in there, kind of bring that back out. There we go. Excellent. And then when we paint that gun, that'll help bring everything back to life. You see we got the ink into the recesses so you can see his belt real well, and we want to make sure that we hit his chest there. There we go. Now that's a stormtrooper, I think. Alright, so that's how you do those. So let's get back here. Oh, here she comes. So let's get back to these guys right here. Alright, the next thing that we want to do is we want to take some Kesla flesh. That's probably the best color that we could use. Ever paint an Apollo Saturn V rocket? Yes. I love that thing. Very big. I love those things. I forgot about that one. Also did a Millennium Falcon. That was another one that was pretty big. That was another favorite of mine. Really enjoyed that. because I really started, I shaded that one up real nice, and I painted, and then I gutted it, and I took all the wires out, and I lit it up, and then I had fiber optics running on on my whatchamacallit, ceiling, and I had 2 TIE fighters chasing it. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're just putting the flesh tone on this guy. We want this guy to, well, we want him to look human. So this is a tough paint right here, but you just got to take your time and just get it in there. There we go. And voila. Run this blaster. And there we go. He looks pretty good. Let's do another one while we're at it. And these guys, they're going to take a little time, but I think the payoff is enormous by just taking your time and just give them a little bit of detail. You don't have to give them a ton, but you know, when you're playing the game and you can see it, you'll be able to see it. You know, these guys aren't going to be perfect, okay? Nothing's going to be perfect in this game because, first of all, the detail on these models are very low. I mean, they're decent, don't get me wrong. It's not a horrible game. I've seen worse games, trust me. And I've commented on them. But this should come out perfectly. Enough where you can throw it on the field and really get the feel that, hey, those rebel soldiers look pretty cool. I like that. And you can see, right, what we're getting at, of course, right there. And that's what we're going for. Okay, did I paint any more of those guys? No, because we want to keep kind of moving. Now, usually I do things in very much in order. And what I'll do is, well, let me look at some of these questions. I'm sorry, guys. I think it would be cool if Minify regular board games, blah, 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 like have someone model the parts, another person print them, and have Rob paint them. That'd be a neat segment. Well, I'll do whatever you guys want, or whatever Tom wants, that's for sure. Oh, my Millennium Falcon was great. It really was. I haven't painted models in years. What would be a good number of models to go paint in one go? That's kind of hard to say. It depends on your style. It really does. For me, I can just sit there and do a bunch. I mean, like all this here, you know, I've only been an hour and a half and I got a lot done already. And, you know, right now, you know, if I wasn't talking as much as I am, I'd probably blow through a lot more of it, and I probably have this whole game painted within 3 hours, tops. As in, you're painting loads of different models in one go. Should you stick with the same style? Oh yeah, definitely. What I would do is, rebels don't wear gloves. Not in my world. Rebels right now, I don't have them wearing gloves. Only because I want them to kind of have that human look a bit. There you go. That's me. Normally, I would just go all the way through. I'd paint one color and just whip right through it. And then by the time I'm done with that color, I would come all the way back and paint the second color. But because there's so many here and I had to do such a big wash, I wanted to show you guys some kind of results. So I only did a couple of this, couple of that, just to kind of speed things along a little bit. Next week, once I get this a little more organized, because you got to remember, I just got this out of the box just in time to turn on the camera, pretty much. So, you know, I was able to get it all primed an hour beforehand, let it dry, bring it in, get it on the basis, and go, okay, here we go. and kind of start to plan it out. But I think next week with the final 2 hours that we'll do on this, and maybe we need a third, a third show. I don't know, but I think you'll be able to see the progression and see all the things that we accomplish. And what I'll do is I'll have things in different progressions, so it'll go a little bit better. This is a big game to really tackle. So, and that's fine. So we're going to take some of this white here. And what we're going to do is throw down my headset here. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint his little helmet here. Now normally when I was painting these guys, I would have just whipped through those guys and then still kept the white out. And then whatever paint I had left over, I would start on these guys. And the thing that you want to do here, and I really mean it, start at the center of the helmet and work your way out. Okay, because you really don't want to leak over everything that you already painted and you worked so hard on. And then come over here and then just tickle that a little bit. If you take your time, it pays off, because then you're not going back. You could talk, Janice, and you can see now that looks pretty doggone good, okay? And I don't think anybody's going to complain when they come over and they see all these guys painted this way. It's not perfection. We could probably throw over a nice brown wash over them, to kind of give them a little bit more of a pizzazz. Those antennas I can probably paint up a little bit, which I probably will. But, this is a nice look. And you can actually even dry brush a little light gray over the vest to give the vest a little 3D look. So, that's kind of a cool thing to do. And then, there we go. And we're just going to, and if you notice, I'm just taking my time, making sure that I control the brush and the brush does not control me. And there we go. And that's a rebel soldier. I say he's pretty well, looking pretty good, and that's what we want. Right? Appreciate the answer. Thanks. You're welcome. Anytime. I'm about to order AVP. I know you said they weren't that bad to put together, but I'm still not excited about it. They weren't that bad, Roger. It's a great game, though. Oh, the kids love that game. They were so happy to play that game, it goes beyond words. It was one of their favorite games. I will tell you that much. And they definitely liked it a real lot. Evening, Rob and all. Evening, Janice. Oh, you see, Janice, even you got a hello.
Hi.
Hi. All right, so I'm just going to whip out this helmet here. What time do we got here? We got 7:35. And I think maybe that we'll call it a day for here. But know that same time next week that we'll do this. And I'm almost willing, if you guys are willing to show up and see it, I'm thinking I'm going to talk to Tom to see if I can have a second night. And maybe we'll save Thursday night to finish these guys up. But we'll get that Mice and Mystics thing going too. And then we'll move it over to Thursday night so we can move it along a little bit. Or we can just kind of stretch it out. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Leave some thoughts in the comments. I'm going to stop right here, but I'm going to take some questions here if you guys have any questions. So I'll give you about 5 or 10 minutes if you want to ask anything that you want to ask, please do. And then we'll go from there. That. I'm just kind of assessing everything here. I want to show you guys though. You see how well this dried and how nice this is going to turn out once we go over. And what we're going to do is we're going to work a very light gray over the top of this and try to bring over certain areas and really kind of just make this kind of stand out. And the same thing, I think they call this the Hail Mary. what we're going to do is, oh, for Mice and Mystics, we're going to build the boards. So the boards that you get in the game set, we're going to do 3D boards. So I think maybe some of you would like to learn how to do that. And what I'll do is possibly put out a list of things that you need, and maybe you want to follow along. I don't know. We'll leave that up to you guys. How's that sound? The minis look very small and difficult to paint. How are you finding them? James, I'm finding them very small and very difficult to paint. And that's the God's honest truth. Let's see. Do you ever ruin clothes with model paint? Are there good remedies for that? Yes, my wife makes sure that I have old clothes on, and then I can ruin them as much as I can. So there you go. And that's what makes her happy. Mr. Che, you are very welcome. It was very kind of you to show up, and I really appreciate everybody that's come so far. I wasn't planning to paint Rebellion because of the small size. All I've painted is Imperial Assault and Blood Rage. Thanks for letting us follow along. I may give Rebellion a shot. I really think that you'll really enjoy next week once I've got everything kind of under control. I'm just glad that I'm able to do this and give you guys some ideas. And I think it'll be fun once we get the snow on there, and then you see how this all going to come together. And then, you know, for the final shot, maybe I'll have the board out and we'll put it all on the board and see how it looks, and see if you guys really think it's worth painting. I think it's something fun where, like I said, I try to make this like you guys are hanging out. You know what I mean? And I try to teach you a couple things along the way and show you how I do things a certain way. This is a big undertaking, but I will get this, and we'll get this very, very nice, and it'll be perfect. And I think it's a good idea because I think you really lose the feeling by just dumping a bunch of plastic pieces on a planet and going, yeah, I'm attacking you. I think it's neat if you just have those, where they're actually floating up in the air there. And you could buy these bases from Games Workshop, 10 to 15 a piece for 15 of these, and it really doesn't take much to really solidify this and really put these on. And I think it's going to make a difference when you're playing the game. You're going to knock them over and stuff, I know, but I think it'll be fun, and it'll add to the game. It'll give a little bit more of a feel. Where in North America do I live? I live in Florida, right near Orlando. What's the longest game I ever played? The longest game I ever played, Talisman with the kids. We played. How long was it, Just?
Oh boy, it's like 8 hours.
It was more than that one time.
Oh, I got it.
We played. I think we played 13 hours straight, and we didn't even know we were playing that long. That was a doozy of a game. There was a huge betrayal. And and thank all of you for being very, very kind and being here. I really appreciate you guys being here. It really means a lot. Hi Rob, I'm really looking forward to the Mice and Mystics 3D boards. Including the supplies would be very helpful since I plan on building the 3D boards as well. That's great. And I'll take my time, and it'll really be fun. Let me see. I want to make sure I answered everybody here. You do a good job, Rob. It's a nice, chill atmosphere. Thanks so much, Nick. That really means a lot. Rob, do you have any tricks to thinning Citadel washes, or do you just use water? I just use water. Where do you suggest a total newbie start? The very first game I think you should start. Boy, I painted something recently, and I said, oh my God, this was so easy. I would have to say Shadows of Brimstone. I thought that was so easy to paint. It really was. And it was a joy. I whipped right through it. How long did it take me? About 2 hours, just?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I finished a whole box set in 2 hours. And I was quite pleased with it, how it came out. It came out very, very nice. And, it's very basic colors. Inside the box, they show you how to paint it if you want to paint it. And, you know, it's just, if you get a chance, stop by my channel. And I'm not trying to promote my channel, but if you really want to see it, I did a video. I did 2 videos on it, and I think you guys will really enjoy that. If you're looking for something beginner to paint, or Mice and Mystics is, I think, is a very easy game to paint. Question: Twister. Oh, favorite Euro game. What's my favorite Euro game? Right now, Francis Drake. I really like that one, and I want to play Caverna. We haven't played Caverna yet because we're afraid Mimi her eyes will roll back in her head. But I think that would be a lot of fun. And I'm just painting along here, so forgive me. I'm just doing these guys. You guys already seen that. Rob, thanks as always from a fellow painter. As you are a former NFLer who, while you were playing college or NFL, was into nerdy type hobbies? Yes, I was. When I was primed, I've noticed it's easier without tacking the figures to the box. Is there another reason to use sticky tack while priming others than keeping when you're priming a whole bunch of them, just lay them in the box and zip through them. But if there's a particular miniature that you're really looking to really make a difference on, just spin it around. Let's see over here. Shadows of Brimstone was a nightmare to put together, though. Maybe try Imperial Assault too. Yeah, Imperial Assault was pretty good too. I have to agree. Have you had a chance to play Rebellion yet? Are you just waiting to paint it all first? I just got this box set no more than 2 hours, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. So no, I haven't had a chance to play it, and I just figured the minute I get it, I just start working on it and give everybody some ideas to give a shot at it. Doug, good to see you. Doug Henning, everybody, if you get a chance, go over see his site. Great site. He does some really cool stuff, and he's doing a really cool Kickstarter that's coming out that is really, really cool. Let's see. Zombicide's so easy. Yeah, Zombicide's easy too, painting-wise. The game's hard. What time do we got? 7:44. Hey, 2 hours, that's not too bad. I think we did a great job, and I think that's going to be it for tonight. I want to thank all of you so much for coming here and sticking by and watching. I like to thank both channels for coming by. I thought this was kind of a unique thing to try to do, and I'm glad it worked out, and we're going to do it again next week. So same time next week, I'll set it up. And also look, I'll talk to Tom, see what a good night is available. And we'll start on the Mice and Mystic 3D boards. I think you guys will really enjoy that. Like I said, I did it already for a boy from Make-A-Wish who unfortunately didn't make it. But he was very, very, very happy with that, and he had such a good time. And I really enjoyed doing it with him. Thank you guys. I've had a real blast. So we'll see you next time, and thank you so much. And just keep on watching, and I'll keep on making videos. Until next time, we'll see you. Have a great evening, folks.